being unbiased, like that means giving the facts and don't put your opinion in.
I think there's just too many voices, too many like chefs in the kitchen per se.
A lot of people say, oh, it's fake news or they didn't cover this YZ. Yeah, really don't be watching TV and watching the news. Hi, you guys. Welcome to a new episode of Colorful Discourse.
Woo!
Hi,
Hey,
guys.
hello.
I'm Rebecca. Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for week in and week out supporting us, being here, congratulating us, giving us critiques. Some of y'all are haters, and you can talk.
Oh
to
my
us.
God.
We're not gonna talk. No energy
Thank
for the
you
haters.
to all our supporters. We really do appreciate it. This is Rebecca. Like she said, I'm Shayla.
And I'm Carly.
And if you a hater, I'm watching you.
Oh my goodness. She's watching you and your mom.
Anyways, today's episode,
It's fake news, fake news, fake news.
But
was
we're
that?
going to be talking about this idea that the news and media are fake. Have you guys ever heard of
Never heard of that. Oh.
Okay, so first of all, have you ever had someone like tell you or express to you, oh, the media is fake or news is fake? Yes or no? Just yes or no?
100%.
Yes. But
yes.
before we get into it, can I just say, this idea of
I've been
fake
trying to
news,
guide stuff and she don't.
I'm a free spirit.
There,
Go ahead, Shayla. Go ahead.
all right, so everybody here said yes. So give us an example of a time that someone has said that to you.
Okay, so when it comes to idea, first off, I work at the job I work at.
Girl, we haven't gotten there yet.
That's my example.
So the people at your work are telling you that where you work is
all I
fake?
get is calls about us being
No,
fake
we
news.
not
Oh,
there yet.
I know. No, I see the point where she's trying
Like
to get
literally
at.
everything that we report that someone does not like, they sit there and they call us and they're like, fake news, you're fake news, you're fake news. There's certain places.
Can you give us an example outside of work, please? Your friends.
My
Family.
friends be spreading fake news, yes. Some of them, especially with COVID, we realized a lot of people who believed anything. And it's like, believe what you want, believe what you will. But there's certain things that just do not correlate sometimes, and y'all be forcing it to make sense. It don't make sense.
When COVID
happened,
AKA the math don't be mathing.
girl, the 2 + 2 is not equaling 4, and I don't know where you're getting your equation from.
You know what I realized though? I think from the era when Trump was around.
I want you all to know that we are fighting the fake news. It's fake, phony, fake. A few days ago, I called the fake news the enemy of the people, and they are. They are the enemy of the people.
That's what I was trying to say before I was rudely interrupted.
Oh my
I
God.
was giving
Now
you an
I'm being
example.
rudely interrupted
Give
over
us an
here.
example of
An
someone
example
telling you.
of when somebody would someone would blatantly tell me, because I used to work at MSNBC, and they would just say like they're biased or this and that. And yeah, we are a political perspective, program and TV show. But the thing is, we still back up the evidence with facts, with straight facts, unlike other networks, which will not be named.
I'll name them. But go ahead.
Like other networks who don't have their basis
What
from
did the
facts.
Say.
Okay, so I 1,000%. I've even had it from my own personal family telling me like, oh, like they're just doing it for views. They're just doing it for XYZ. And this is the point that Rebecca was trying to make. We are all media students. If you watched our first episode, you know where we went to school. And what's your degree?
Communication and media arts.
But you got a minor too. Let's just plug that in. We paid for that.
Business.
Period.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm communication and media arts. I know that triggers some because people are like, oh, communication is the easiest degree you ever could have. I was also a nursing major, but we're not even going to get
Wait,
into
are you a
that.
minor too?
No, I didn't minor in anything.
Oh.
Just because I had changed my
Major
gender.
What?
different topic.
I had changed my oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. It's been a
Your
long
major.
day. I changed my major and I already graduated later than I should have. But anyways, yeah, I'm a female. In case you're asking,
Are
go
you
ahead.
Sure? Are you sure?
Girl, come.
Okay, my major
Major.
is communications and media arts too, and I double minored in computer science and journalism.
Period. So
Right.
clearly, we are all in the communications field.
With some
Yes.
branches and twigs.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
The more is we all work in television and media, and we see. I understand where some people come from that like the news is fake. There are some networks that I can say I don't know what they're reading. Every time we are creating a show for my network where I work, we have an editorial call where we discuss, we read from reliable news sources, and this might trigger some, but just because you see a headline on social media does not mean that it is true. Okay, read the article.
Okay,
Always.
so I just want to go to this point when, like Carly touched on it. When Trump became president and you started hearing more about fake news, I don't think what people realize is like, and so many people took that and ran with it. When I say ran with it, I mean y'all ran a mile and a marathon. Like y'all ran with it. And it's like so many people took that and like they would be like, oh, it's fake news. Just because something does not go with the way that you want to see the world or you just don't agree with does not mean it's fake. It just means that's your reality.
Yeah. We've gotten to a point where like there's alternative facts. Facts are facts. Like you say, whether you like them or not, these are the facts. These are the stats. This is science.
Damn! Well, we live in a system that they don't want to see everybody succeed and they don't want to see everybody
100%.
healthy. So like I understand where the mistrust is, but sometimes what's being presented in front of you is what is being presented in front of you.
Another thing too is like going back to that whole Trump era, right? And how he was trying to basically discredit all the media because he didn't want people poking at the government about what he was trying to do under his administration. So that is what a lot of like authoritarian and a lot of dictators tend to do. They tend to try to discredit all these media outlets because they don't want like media, like journalists shining a light at the dirtiness that's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, but we've gotten to a point where some people do agree with those types of things. Like the whole Capitol riot situation, if you don't know, like January 6th, whatever, people, far right groups and people stormed the Capitol because they didn't want to
like a Tomb Raider.
But exactly, they didn't want the elections to be like Biden won type of thing. What was the day? That's like the day that they made it like official.
They thought
they right? They stormed the Capitol.
They stormed that like Temple Run.
It's fine.
That was awful.
You believe who is president, the reality, the FACT, the fact of the matter is Biden is your president. Like, be for real.
You
girl.
That's a chant right there.
I had to make up after that first episode.
Oh my God.
That is the thing. And again, let's reel it back a bit. I know when you watch TV, right? We live in little bubbles, right? You're so used to watching the channel that caters to your opinion.
Exactly.
So whenever you watch a different channel that doesn't cater to you, you're like, oh, this is fake. They're just only XYZ. But
exactly, we
all work in media. Just because you see one person on the screen, trust and believe there are reporters, there are producers, there are people like Rebecca doing like picking up the phone call, talking to people, getting
investigating every single fact.
Exactly. So like, let's say you do turn on the channel and what the anchor is saying, which somebody else wrote.
But sometimes it's not just the anchors. Like they also have guests who are legal analysts. They have authors who dedicate their life, like their career on whatever topic that they're discussing. Like there are experts with doctors and stuff. When COVID hit, it wasn't just the anchors just saying, this is what's happening. This is what the CDC says. They got legal doctors on camera and everything.
Like I have 2 points to make. First off, with COVID, I had a lot of people who were divided. Some people wanted the vaccine. Some people didn't want the vaccine. I personally I don't care what you want to do. Just don't sit there and
don't lie about it.
Right. Don't sit there and tell me that you're going to grow a third arm because I have yet to see a third arm. Like, I get it. Some people are like, oh, I got the vaccine and I got sick.
Yeah, some people did get
and some people who didn't get the vaccine never got sick. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Regardless of what spectrum you were on and what side you were on and what fact you chose to believe. Stop lying. Y'all be some liars.
And also people take like a kernel of truth, right? Because we're in the age of social media where anyone can be like a creator. They can write headlines. They can do whatever. You know, you can buy your own little WordPress thing and build your own news thing. Your own news site. So you can get a kernel of truth and write something up, especially on Facebook where the older generation, we're going to go to that.
They believe parents, a lot.
Older people just, look what I saw this. WhatsApp, all the false
but young people are now doing that on TikTok. a lot of young people are believing like all these things for not credible sources.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, why doesn't the media show this? Because it's not true most of the time.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
just
true.
like, okay, so like as Shayla said, like where I work, I do get a lot of calls from people throughout the state. So there was one time we did like with media, you're supposed to be unbiased, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to show both sides.
We're
And
going to
the
talk
sides-
about that.
Right, and the sides that you show are Democrat or Republican in our case, in our democracy, just because those are the main parties that we focus on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we did an interview with a Republican analyst, right? And they were talking about Trump. So this person called us and she was like, I just witnessed a violent argument. And I'm like, first of all, okay, what that got to do with me, right?
Mhm.
So then she was like, you guys were talking about Trump and I was in a popular bagel shop and these people started getting into an argument. I'm like, what that got to do with me? And she's like, Trump is not president, so I don't understand why we're talking about him. I was like, because we're non-biased. Like, we're supposed to show both sides and both
Do
perspectives.
you
Yeah.
believe that television
No,
today is unbiased?
No,
Be for
nothing
real.
is unbiased though. Like, you're supposed to. That's what journalism was
Right.
created to be as,
Mhm.
to be non-biased. But I feel like ever since Trump, that hasn't happened anymore. That doesn't happen.
What do you believe?
You're going to choose a side.
The media unbiased.
Are we living in today 2023 where TV, news, whatever media is unbiased?
I think there's just too many voices, too many like chefs in the kitchen per se. Like
Yeah.
everybody's giving their opinions. Everybody's going to look at things differently. And yeah, that does come with biases at times.
And I feel like everybody thinks that they're a credible source. Just because you think that you got a great recipe, it does not mean it tastes good.
Yeah, and another point is like to the whole point of being biased and unbiased. Again, I think everyone has biases.
Of course.
Right.
And also we went through this whole quote unquote racial reckoning. There's some things that I don't care who I'm working for. I will always be rooting for my people, for Latinos, minorities, Black people. Like, that's a part of me, right? You can never take that away from me. So if I'm in a newsroom where I see my people getting shot or, like my immigrants being, hit with whatever, I'm gonna speak up. Like, I don't care who I'm working for, what the network is, what it is. Like, there's just certain things that I just can't put aside for
Yeah.
a job.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You shouldn't.
That's because, but I think that being unbiased and stuff like that, I think that you're talking about your morals and you're talking about
yeah.
what your beliefs are to be a decent human being, what you value. I think that's great, but being unbiased, like, that means giving the facts and don't put your opinion in
See,
it.
but I don't know. I just feel like I wasn't built like that. So maybe I'm working, like,
Oh,
I am in
trust
the
me.
right field, but just maybe not
trust
the
me.
news.
I
But
get
it's just-
that.
It's,
I
it's
get that.
hard.
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
that. There's certain
100%.
things, like, whenever we deal with like a police shooting, a police involved shooting or anything like
Right.
that, and I see a minority getting killed, I guess I want to give the facts and I want to be like, oh, this, that, and the third, but it's like, I can't help but to be annoyed. I can't help but to be irritated when I see it, because like now I want to know what was the reason, what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't hide it. You're gonna see it on my face.
Right.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't take away from the fact that I can't make assumptions yet. I can't sit there and say anything until I'm also the type of person, if I don't have all the facts, don't look at me to give you an opinion yet. Because I feel like that's a lot of people. They don't have all the facts and then y'all just running your mouths for what? You
Yeah.
got verbal diarrhea talking about what? You don't know nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
Talking like alphabet soup, just spilling shit out.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think I like the point that you mentioned, that it's more of like morals, what we were raised with. And I think another piece to the puzzle is, I don't know. I think people do have a right to say that, like, news is biased. If you are watching MSNBC versus Fox, I know what side of the spectrum you are on. And let's be real. You are, like, the likelihood that someone that is Republican is going to come on MSNBC is very slim. And if they do come on, you better have a real good reason to be on, because if you're going to be spewing what to the network is false allegations, and really they are false,
Yeah.
but because they're catering to what the viewers want,
But then that's
they'll have
different
them
from
on.
that's different from having biases versus just straight up lying.
Yeah, but I feel
Yeah.
like we're in a society right now where people are just eating up lies.
Yeah.
They're eating up lies. Oh, yeah, because... Again, I don't want to make this about politics because we're going to have a separate video on that about why people hate talking about politics. But if you're going to tell me that Trump wasn't bad for like immigrants and minorities, that Trump doesn't like minorities, I don't care that when sometimes when he has his rallies, he has like Black for Trump shirts. I don't care about that.
That doesn't
I
mean
know
anything.
the stuff that he does and the way he says things that to me leads me to believe that he is not for minorities. But people are like, oh no, he's the man of the people and he's da da da. I'm just like,
I just love when, like, I remember when Trump first came out and everybody was sitting there supporting him, talking about, oh my God, Trump's
The
running
economy.
for president. Right, like he's gonna do
That
this for the
part.
economy. But it's like, my thing is whenever I hear the phrase "Make America Great," and
When was
I
it
ask
great?
somebody, when was America great? There's never an actual answer. It's like it's a stare and a blink and a urge to knock you on your behind.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think what he represents annoys me more than his politics sometimes, because like what you represent is ignorance. Right, and then you just can't hide that. Like,
yeah, but to some, they represent exactly what they want represented.
of course,
And
that's why, like, I remember we had a class in college, MSU stand up. Woo, woo. Okay,
Hey.
So
Red Hawks.
we were in. It was like a anthropology something whatever class, and they were asking us about they asked us about gun control, and they also asked us, do everything racism will end in America. And I was saying to them, like, I remember I said, like, no, it'll never end. And this boy got so mad, and he was just like, that's just such a democratic view. I was like, first of all, I didn't even tell you what my party is.
Oh my God.
And two, I was like, I don't understand what Democrats have. Like, that's a real answer. Like, if you live in an area where it's predominantly a group of people who share the same ideals, who are raised to think the same way, your brother, your father, everyone works in the same place, and that's all you've ever known, and the media is showing you one thing, how else are you supposed to believe? If you're told every day of your life, and let's say you're 35 years old, and since you were born, you have been told that Black people are ignorant, disgusting, and whatever the words you may use, why would you think of anything else?
Yeah.
And that's the power
I
of
agree.
media, right? Like, I think when you are creating it, I mean, I guess we know the power of it, right? Like you were saying, if all you see when you watch the news is shootings, whatever. I'm from Patterson, and when I tell people I'm from Patterson, they're like, oh my God, it's the worst place ever, you're gonna die, whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, yes, there is, violence.
crime.
I've seen many people
But
that I
just
went to
like
high
everywhere.
school with get shot, whatever. But because the perspective, like, again, it is a news, right? Like, news is not always gonna cover the happy-go-lucky stuff, because unfortunately, that's just not what people go on the news to watch.
Exactly.
They say they do, but it's a lie because numbers don't lie.
Because go ahead.
So that's when the biases comes in, and that's why I got into journalism, because the fact that my people, Salvadorians, usually were just known for our gang violence. That's all we know. Like, if you think about Salvadorians or Central America, you think about two things. One, pupusas for Salvadorians,
done.
and the other one, MS-13. Let's not lie. Like, that's all what people knew about us because of the media. Because of the media.
Yeah.
And it sucks so much because it's like, we want to change that narrative. And when we are behind the scenes and we are trying to make that difference, it feels like sometimes we
But you
can't,
see,
or we're
people are
stuck.
liars. Because when I tell you
Yeah.
y'all are liars, I mean y'all are liars, and y'all need to be told this today. Y'all say y'all don't want to hear this stuff. You want to hear all good news, good news, good news. If
But
you
they don't
want to see
watch.
good news, watch the Hallmark Channel. But don't sit there.
Girl, what?
The promo for the Hallmark Channel on this
Listen, I'm
freaking
a-
podcast
What
What
is
do you mean? You're
insane.
trying to talk
Sponsor
about
me.
a real,
But
real issue.
I
Talking about
am. I'm talking about real issues.
What does Herbert is the most fake, the same storyline for everything.
If you
they
want to
might
see
change-
good news and good stuff,
Oh
go to
my
the
God.
Happy
Fake
Channel.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to get at is, the news is supposed to inform you.
Yeah.
It's supposed to show you what is going on in different communities within your state or around the world. How are you going to get mad that I'm telling you about a triple shooting in an area?
Okay, but here's the thing.
Right.
You will cover the triple shooting.
Right.
But let's say there is a good thing. Unless it's like a celebrity involved, you're not going to really cover a good happy-go-lucky story because it doesn't have that X factor. And here's why. When you are watching your local channel and you see, stay tuned for the, local 6 p.m. news for a double whatever, people are going to watch that 6 p.m. news. But if the little teaser is talking about this grandma was just celebrating her 100th birthday, you may pull up and watch it because you
Girl, you don't care. That's not your grandma. So and also, my thing is, to your point, is that has me seeing that 100-year-old grandma has no direct effect to me. But if I know I have family in Newark, I have family in Kearney or wherever, and I see an incident happening over there, I want to know what is happening. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure that they're not affected. I want to know what could possibly affect me and what's going around in my area. And if that's bad news, well, baby, let me tell you, the world is good and evil.
Well, that's why we say there is biases in the news because of things like that. Because
but that's not a bias. That's news.
Okay, but the more is there is a decision there, right? There is an executive branch. This is another thing most people don't know. Just because we work in the media doesn't mean I show up to work and be like, we need to cover this, and boom, it is covered. Right, there are levels to this. Okay?
Multiple levels.
So just because we go and we work, obviously, yes, we do want more minorities to be involved. Come to our major. It's amazing. But just because you're in it, it takes years and ranks to be able to make the executive decisions. My last point before we end with the game, you guys know we always end with a game, is that see, I lost my train of thought.
Then let me finish it for you, baby.
No, I have to say what I gotta say. It was a incomplete,
good point, right? You be feeling incomplete if you can't finish your point. What I was saying though is that I get a lot of people want to throw out that word.
Oh, I got it. I got my thought. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, baby.
And another thing is, a lot of people say, oh, it's fake news, or they didn't cover this, YZ. Yeah, I really don't be watching TV and watching the news. Because, be talking about, they didn't cover this. They didn't talk about this.
Yes, I hate when they do that. Okay, so that happens to me a lot. That happens to me a lot. A lot of people are right, and they get their things from TikTok or something. They're like, I didn't see this on
TikTok, but it's just if you are gonna come,
it's not on the TV,
a network or. Not even a network. If you're gonna come for news, whatever, make sure you clocking in every time for the 6 p.m. newscast. 7, 10, 9.
Let me call you.
Because I deal with ignorance every single day, and I get calls from people who are like, "This happened in my town and you didn't cover it." I say it's on our website. I was looking, not well enough.
Not hard, right? Exactly.
Come, guys. I want to talk to you real quick, guys. Let me tell you something.
We need to wrap up soon, but go ahead. Okay,
so if you. Let me ask you something. Have you watched the news lately? Today, how many hours have you watched today? And I'm talking about hours, not 2 minutes.
Watching news throughout the day.
The whole entire day. We know what we cover in the area. We know what we cover.
You guys know we had another hiccup, but we back.
We know what we cover nationally. We know what we cover locally, right? But do you seriously just sit there and watch the news for just an hour a day?
No, and it's fine. The thing is, before you try to clock and rah people, check yourself. Make sure. And I will say that we do need to do a better job with these paywalls, the New York Times. I get it. Journalists do need to get paid.
Yeah.
Local journalism is dying because people are not getting paid enough, whatever. But also because not everybody is subscribing to New York Times, Washington Post, whatever. I mean, the Associated Press is free. And y'all better be ready this now. I'm giving y'all some game.
Okay.
All the fake news. The Associated Press, Axios, those are free, but
she said all the fake news.
Go on incognito mode for New York Times and Washington
Control
Post.
N.
Right. Okay. For you to get a couple articles and make sure you read the full thing and down.
I just want to say this last point. Shayla and I and Carly, I remember there was a time where it was when the trade was happening for Brittany Griner, right? And people were just so upset and not actually reading. They're talking about why didn't they switch for the Marine? If the government of Russia I'm not trading him. So take this
it's
option.
It's her or nothing.
Right. Take this option or leave me alone. What you gonna do?
Everybody was the merchant of death. First of all, you probably don't even know what a merchant of death is. Right. And you're so mad.
Right. If you're so mad, stand up to him.
And you was never searching for this man. People were never free merchant of death. Nobody.
Wasn't clocking for him. Now y'all asking why was he free? Y'all do know he was gonna be freed in 3 months?
I don't know. The moral of the story is that, yes, I understand why some people believe that the news and media are fake. There are flaws, but make sure you check yourself before you try to check our our
media
community, our field.
industry, yeah.
And again, don't get me wrong, there is lots to judge.
There's valuable questions, but also
Valuable
make
questions.
Come with facts.
Right, but make sure that question actually makes some type of sense.
Correct, yeah.
And I also want to say that if you are reading an article, reading and comprehension are two different things. Just because you read it doesn't mean you actually understood it.
Yep.
So I don't know what literary.
Girl, you see, you messing us up because nobody
So I don't know what literary classes you gotta take. I don't know what college courses, what high school course you gotta finish. But baby, figure it out. Learn something. Because talking to me and just saying anything that comes to the top of your brain, think it should not be free sometimes. Because some of y'all.
Okay,
really
we need to move on.
And on
past our
that
30
note-
minutes. I'm just gonna say what. Okay. Read
trying to shut her
reliable.
up.
This is my last point for real. Read reliable news sources. I've mentioned some already. And just because you read a headline, don't share stuff. Make sure you read it and things are right. Now we're gonna move on to our game for real.
Do your part.
All right, now let's think about our questions, about what we want to say to these questions, to these statements.
I'm ready. It's
okay,
a battle.
we are going to play Never Have I Ever.
Mm.
Okay. Never have I ever kissed my best friend.
No.
You guys can answer it for yourselves.
Obviously, it's from who else am I?
Okay.
I was like,
duh.
No?
No, I haven't kissed. My
Okay.
friend. Like on the cheek, like but not like in the mouth. No.
I'm looking at Rebecca. She's
Girl, that's a
thinking
no.
about him.
Next.
I
Okay.
won't answer for me, but
Because
no, I'm
it's
thinking
a
about
no.
it. We weren't best friends, so no.
Okay. Never have I ever dined and dashed.
Huh?
Like
Dine
not
and
paid?
not
No,
paid.
No.
Oh,
My
no,
conscience
I
wouldn't
believe
let
in
me.
karma, and that's no. I don't.
Yeah.
My conscience wouldn't let
Give
me.
your 20% tips, guys.
Girl, what?
Sometimes they
what
don't
that got to
deserve
do
that.
with paying for your food?
Paying for your food and your tips.
Girl, I'm not gonna lie, and I know this may trigger some, but growing up, your girl was broke. Okay, so if I don't have enough money to leave for tip, I'm sorry. Thankfully God has blessed me with blessings, and now I can. But if you can't, I get it.
Here's where I'm defending you. In America,
I think
everything. It's like, you know, when they
No,
get
facts.
a pickup, they flip that screen, the iPad, and you're like, leave a tip.
But my thing is, I'm bold. At Panera, when they be like, and it's gonna ask on the screen if you want a tip, I be thank you. I be hitting no real quick.
It be tip for everything. Like I give tips, like if it's like a restaurant, whatever, you actually giving service,
dining,
or my other thing, if it's Uber, DoorDash, because like you driving, you doing work. But if not, no, I'm sorry. Let me we over time.
I just want to say, people clown me because I say I'm not tipping my DoorDash driver or my Uber Eats driver.
I do that.
I don't. I'm sorry. And
I do Uber Eats.
You can drag her because you driving to get my food.
Never. Okay. And the other one is, never have I ever snuck into a movie theater.
No.
I have.
I think like if I'm watching a movie and I'm done with it, I'm already in. I already paid to get in. So really, I did my part.
Girl, so there was this one time.
I just happened to stumble into the other theater.
I've never done
me
that.
too. You never done that?
I've never done that.
I've done that only once, but it was like so late, and it was like at the end of the movie. I watched it was Avengers, like Endgame or something. It was a 3-hour freaking movie. So after that, there was nobody in the movie theater, and then I heard the new Spider-Man playing right next door, or some Spider-Man or Marvel movie. So I said, I'm gonna walk right in.
Period.
But
Have
that's
you ever
it.
snuck into a movie theater? We're not condoning it.
I hope
We're not condoning AMC. Don't take my A-list.
May Zeus strike y'all down. Just
What?
terrible.
Oh my God. Okay,
Man,
the most angel person in this
I'm
group.
angelic. I'm angelic.
Girl, okay, so the last point before we wrap this up, who's excited for the Barbie movie?
Oh, let me tell you,
Oh my
y'all.
God,
I got
you guys,
my.
Let me
got
tell
my
you your
shirt.
stats.
Can you guys see my shirt? Probably not because the light is...
And to those who are listening through audio, she's showing off a pink Barbie.
Oh yeah,
shirt.
my Barbie shirt.
It got what's it called? Acid wash, pink.
Pink and white. I'm super excited.
Why didn't you just say tie-dye?
Tie-dye, yeah, pink and
Acid
white.
wash is the same thing, no?
Okay, maybe. My battery's dying. Love you guys so much. Thank you for watching this episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Yes.
And thank you for the